All right, morning show with Anthony here on 92.9 and 96.9 EHM. Really excited to have our next guest on the phone with us, and can't wait to see them when they come to the West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center Saturday, February 10th. Tickets on sale at whbpac.org. From the record company, we welcome in Chris Vos. Chris, how are you, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to talk to you here. You guys are one of the bright spots in rock music. I'm wondering if you hear that often, because the conversation I feel like in the world is rock's dying, rock's aging, rock this, rock that. But, you know, you guys are in a upward trajectory. So what I'm saying is the entire genre is on your shoulders. How does that make you feel?
Well, I guess that's one man's opinion. Your opinion that it's all on our shoulders, which is a very nice thing to say. But I'll tell you this, not on my watch from our side. We're not, we don't subscribe to the rock is dead theory. I mean, or that we're doing something or participating in something that is in some way, you know, dead or no longer valid. I mean, things change, the world changes, but, you know, what is, you know, it's a 70-year-old genre. There's nothing you can do about the fact that time goes by, you know, but there's something you can do as a songwriter in a band, and that's to play the music that comes from your heart and from your soul. And, it just so happens that this kind of music is the stuff that speaks to us. So that's why we're doing it. But, you know, anytime anybody's playing from that place, I think it's a good thing. We just happen to be doing it in this genre. It's very nice, and it's a huge surprise to us to even have ever made it out of our living room, quite frankly. So, you know, but seeing as they've allowed us to escape, now you got to deal with us for a while.
Well, let's go there. Let's go into your living room, because I'm fascinated by your story. I mean, you guys, you know, I'm sure you're doing a lot of interviews, and overnight success and all this stuff has been probably thrown at you. But relatively speaking, with a lot of the artists that I've spoken to, you guys, you know, you guys have made it pretty quickly. I mean, 2011, you guys formed, and you literally decided just one night, let's make an album, and you just started doing it from your living room.
Well, you know, that we did start, we became friends. We recorded in our living room, the first record. We're about to finish our second record right now, which we actually did a good deal of it in the studio. But we also had to get back to the living room and cut a couple of things because, I mean, for crying out loud, you know, you got to stick with tradition. But
Nice.
But, you know, the funny part about the group was, for the group itself, it just was a really great fit creatively immediately with Alex and Mark, bass and drums, and I'm a guitar and singer. But you know, the thing that's funny is we had all failed to get out there in any respect, really, in any group we'd ever been in. We'd all been playing in other bands for years. So I think it was a combination. I mean, when we got together, we were literally like, the hell with it. We're going to play whatever we want to play, how we want to play it. And I don't care if we play pizza places. It really doesn't matter. It wasn't about, you know, trying to get out there. And I think that helped make the music more, you know, we wanted to play what we loved, and we didn't really think about whether it was fashionable or not to do it. And even though I have always enjoyed and felt like I've always played music that I really believed in, this was the first time that I ever did something where I'm like, you know, all I do is sit around and listen to old rock and roll, Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and the Stooges and Stones all day long, and Ray Charles. So, you know, it's like, I'm just going to play music that's influenced from that. It's funny that when we finally all just were like, you know what, the heck with it, just going to do whatever the heck we want for our own, just to you know, just to do it. And
Right.
That's what ended up catching on, which is funny. But, you know, it's the old, a lifetime to become an overnight success story. As far as the TRC, we did do a lot, 3.5, 4 years of tooling around in a minivan with three guys just smashed into a van, driving around playing for $75, $100, sometimes nothing. And we, our first year in 2012, I think we played 100 times. Sometimes, we were playing next to a tomato stand in a market. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just like we just snapped our fingers and all of a sudden it was like, woohoo, here we go. So there was once we got the songs and the record recorded, it was really surprising, and we were really thankful for it, quite frankly, that it did happen the way it did.
Yeah, and you guys, it was an interesting way, and it doesn't happen often. Again, a little bit of a special case here with you guys, whereas you got the record recorded and the label bought the record instead of signing the band, and then you got to go in studio and record for the label, which can be, a tough situation sometimes.
Yeah, we were fortunate that, the label group that we signed with, Concord Music Group, the really forward-thinking label that really, they sign a lot of artists that are, unique. They've got Lucas Nelson over there and Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats and so on. Marcus King, if you've heard of him yet, which if you haven't, you will soon. He's amazing. So they just sign artists and they let you be who you are. And that was so refreshing. We handed them an album and they were like, this sounds great. And I think it was after we were pretty much about to print it. They're like, it was definitely after everything was, they were like, oh, we love the record. It's great. And they're like, where'd you record it? We're like, our living room. And who mixed it? I'm like, our bass player. But that's and they didn't blink at that. They went, great, awesome. So we're like, okay, good.
That's unbelievable. Can we talk about Alex for a quick second though? Because the album sounds nothing like it was recorded in a living room. And from what I understand, you guys had went out and bought a cheap drum set and got the piano for free or something crazy like this, and you just that's all true.
Craigslist assembled studio, a free piano, the drum set was $100, and this is actually kind of funny. On tape, there was a piece of Scotch tape, or not Scotch tape. What the heck kind of tape would you even call it? I don't know. It was really worn out, but in black marker, somebody had written, this kit was played by the drummer from Stevie Ray Vaughan. And it was on there for so long that when if you took the tape off, it had etched itself onto the actual kit, the acidity of it. And the funny part about it is, I'm going a little off track here, but the funny part is we actually ended up meeting that guy eventually.
Get out of here, really?
And we had pictures of the kit, and we're like, dude, can you confirm or deny that you ever played this kit? He did not deny it, but he could not completely confirm it. But I'll put it to you this way. Alex, he just is, he's a gear dork. He loves gear, and he's really good at you could have 350 SM57 microphones and throw them around a drum kit. I mean, we and just play the kit, and we did everything live, and we didn't think too much about, we need super expensive microphones. We're just like, do we like the song? Yep. Does that sound like the best way that song could sound? Yep. All right, move on, next song. That's like literally how the production went for it. It was real minimal, and we tried to keep it really, true to what we felt the songs were. And we all are writers, and we all have been in the studio quite a bit. But yeah, he did a great job on that. Alex has really got a good ear for that kind of stuff.
It's a great lesson for not only, musicians who are trying to figure out how to, break through or make it or whatever, but even people in general. You don't need the best gear. You don't need the best equipment. You don't need the best whatever. Just have a passion for it. Like you said, figure out what works in that scenario and how it sounds and how you like it, and just execute and just do it.
Well, you know, it's funny. There's a Noel Gallagher quote, and I'm not going to fashion the accent, but it's, you know, Noel Gallagher, the songwriter for the band from the 90s, Oasis. And if people aren't familiar, I'm sure everybody is, but everybody's probably going to, we know who Noel Gallagher is, but I'm going to proceed anyhow. The Noel Gallagher said, you know, about music, and it sounds like something when you hear him say it, you're like, oh, well, that's not, well, of course. It's like, but no, really think about it. He's like, write a chorus. He's like, that's my advice to you if you're a young band. He's like, write a chorus.
Right.
And what I'm trying to say is I've been in groups where we thought about, oh, what kind of pedal is that? Oh, what kind of this? I have like one pedal in this band, you know, maybe two. Now I've got a couple more because, you know, why not? But, you know, in that time I had a distortion pedal in front of me, and I used to have a board that looked like I could land the space shuttle, you know, when I was say in college. And I'll tell you what, you know, if you like the songs and the band's excited, you know, about the songs, and you've really done the homework on the songs. I mean, all we cared about was, do we like these songs? Can we make these songs better? What's going on with these songs? It was song. It was always about songs. And that was a big eye opener, because I had never been in a group that it sounds insane. Because, you know, as musicians, I think you can get off track. You can get distracted with, you know, like you said, quotation marks, making it. I never thought so much about making it. I always wanted to make the best music I could, but I was thinking about things like, how do you get on the radio? How do you get on the, well, write some songs. You got to write some songs, and you got to kill yourself doing it. And you got to write better songs than you think you know how to write. You have to get deep in there, and you somehow have to get along as a band. And I mean, the first handful of songs are always the easiest, because it's like you're together. It's just like any relationship. You first meet each other, it's exciting. It's like, yeah, it's when you start to wear out on each other, that's when you really find the good stuff. Just like, you know, my wife, you know, our relationship now is richer and better than it's ever been, but that's because of the time spent and the depth that we dive, you know, and you got to keep it interesting. You can't just rest on your laurels. And that's the same with songwriting, in my opinion, especially now that we have written 50 some odd songs or whatever it is, you know, but there's only going to be, this is our second record, and that'll be 20 songs out there in the world. You know, not every song gets put out, because not every song's the right one.
Right. Know? But it's true what you said. Like, it's amazing, just to reiterate what you're saying, how you can lose focus. Like, you're sitting there trying to write a song, and you're worried about, how do I get the song on the radio? And you're worried about, you know, is this mic'd right? And do I need an A&R person? And you all this stuff is going on in your mind while you're writing, and you think you're focused on writing, but you're really focused on all that other stuff.
Absolutely. Go to a quiet place and write. You know, I mean, Justin Vernon Bon Iver, that first record, he went out to his dad's woods, a cabin in the woods in the northern part of Wisconsin, and sat in there for 6 months and wrote that record, you know. Yeah. And then, I'm not saying you gotta go isolate, but there's a lesson in that. You gotta, I've always finding a quiet place. Now, and let's just be frank here. I'm not Neil Young here talking. You know, this is just a dude who's had a couple of tunes, and I'm on the road. I'm just a normal person that just has a couple. It's not like I have any. You know, I am not those guys.
Right. No,
but
totally.
For my money, when you ask me, how did you get to where I'm at? These are the core philosophies that I feel are real important. And there's something that I think there's a lesson in there for maybe guys that I wish I'd have heard that lesson 10 years ago, because you do get distracted, you know, and making it means nothing. It's absolutely nothing. play with some guys that excite you, or people that excite you. Sorry, morning voice here. But play with some people that excite you, you know. Find people that excite you, that do something. Play with people that scare you, you know. Play with people that, and write some songs, and know that you're in it together. If you're going to be a band, the first thing we did, the first day that we played, I looked at everybody. I heard what we were doing. I knew that it was what I wanted to do. We went out on the back porch. We had thrown 2 or 3 microphones around the room, and we were listening to the playback out of a speaker in the window going in a backyard. Nice sunny day. I'm from Wisconsin originally. I'm living in L.A. I'm scared out of my mind, and I hear all of a sudden coming through the speakers everything I ever wanted in a band, and it's the first time we ever played.
Wow.
So I sat there and I said to the guys, I think that sounds like a band. And they said, yeah, I think it does too. And I said, well, how's about this for an agreement? A third responsibility to each man. If we make $1, everybody gets 1/3 of that dollar, no matter what. I said, how's that for a band agreement? And they're like, sounds good. And I said, let's go do it. And we started that day, and that's been the way we've looked at everything. All for one, one for all, so from day one.
Nice.
And so, wow, I really I haven't done. See, you've got me at a good time. We've been off for the last month, so I haven't done an interview in a while. So I'm really going long here.
No, I love it. I love it. This is phenomenal.
Still awake out there,
dude. Chris, this is awesome, man. I love getting into these conversations. You know, like I said, to me, this applies to people who are trying to make it in music or trying to find their voice in music. But it applies to, you know, the filmmaker or the accountant, or, you know, you think you've got what you have, but like you said, when you hear it in the speakers, you're like, oh my God, that was the moment you heard what you were looking for. So, no, I think it's cool that we're talking about this. Chris Vos is our guest from the record company. Saturday, February 15th, West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. They're going to be over there. All right, so now Give It Back to You is the first record. I remember when I heard Off the Ground, I was like, wow, these guys are good. And then I heard Rita Mae Young, and I was like, wow. I was like, these guys really have something. And then I listened to the album, which is phenomenal. And then I found out that it was recorded in your living room with like 3 microphones, and then I just got angry, and then I got over it. But tell me, what I'm curious about is, because I know we're a little short on time. Baby I'm Broken, which to me now you've hit this whole new level, and it's funny because the people I talk to, like, they're like they assume that one came first, because I feel like it's really hit some heights for you guys, but it's a single unto itself. How did that track come about? Because it wasn't on the first album. It's not. Is it on the second album, or where is that one going?
Right now, it's just there. I mean, it's a song we had, and you know, what happened with that song is we had it in the can, as they say, and we did the first record, and we didn't feel, and it was there, not in the form it's in now, but we had a recording of it that we liked, and then someone actually at the label heard us play it live and just was like, that we really love that song. Would you guys be willing to just, you know, work it up so we can put it out as a single while we wait for you to complete your second record? And, you know, we were like, sure. So we just came back home, and, you know, between dates, and we got it together, brushed it up, did some work on it, and it came out, you know. So, and that was all there was to that. It was just I don't know if it's out there, you know, in the digital world already. I've had thoughts of maybe including it as a bonus track on, say, a vinyl. We do a vinyl or CD, maybe the physical product. But, you know, also, though, I look at the second record, which is basically on Friday. I anticipate that we will be laying what will be either the last or nearly last thing that we need to lay down for this album as far as recording goes. Then we go into the whole mixing process, which, you know, can take some time to get right. You know, even when you're doing it simply, it can take some time to get it right. So, it was just out there. Baby I'm Broken it was just a song we liked. It was just a friend at the label that we've come to respect and trust their opinion. And, they were really excited about it. And so we just were like, okay, well, we'll put it out. And, and then it just kind of went from there with that song. That's pretty much it. It was just a tune we had laying around that may have been on the second record if it had continued to lay around. But, you never can tell with these things. All this is new stuff to me too. I don't know how any of this works. I'm learning every day.
Well,
that's the most exciting part is I really about the business and everything. We're learning new things every day.
Yeah, no, totally.
Frankly,
first of all, continue to listen to that one guy at the label who picked that one because that guy
knows. It was
knows.
Actually a lady.
It was a lady. So okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Listen to that lady then, because she knows what she's talking about.
And I'd say her name, but she hates that kind of stuff, so I won't say it.
All right, well, keep listening to her though. But here's the thing: I'm fascinated by the life of a song. Like, so it was kicking around. You guys had it, but was it just that you loved other songs for the new album, or did it for the first album, or did it just not fit? It was just kind of that kind of thing.
It just, the song the 10 songs that we had when we sat down with the label and they were like, okay, we want to sign you. We said, do we have an album recorded? And we're like, yeah, we have an album. Then we went to the side and we went amongst ourselves, circled the wagons, as they say, and do we have a record already? And we're like, because we had a pile of songs laying around. We're like, yeah, we do. And then we did end up writing, I think, Off the Ground last or second to last. I think the last two songs we wrote was Off the Ground, and then a song, the title track, I'll Give It Back to You, was, I believe, the last song we wrote for the album. I can't remember if those were in the can or not when we had that meeting, but I know when we went back, we gave them the 10 songs that are the Give It Back to You record, and Baby I'm Broken was not on there because we felt it wasn't even necessarily about, like, you got to understand, when we handed this record in, the thought of the radio, that was impossible. That was not even on my mind. I wasn't thinking about the radio at all. I was like, well, crap, I finally am on a record label, and it's a great label. I just want to put out a record that I can be proud of, that we can be proud of, that we think is the best record we could possibly make.
Right.
So, just like being fans of like bands that make great records, we just said, what are the 10 songs that best fit together as an album? And those were the 10 that we did, and then Baby I'm Broken, which I'm sure it was discussed. Quite frankly, it was a couple of years ago, so I can't really remember what the conversations were, but we knew we had that one. And sometimes it's okay, as Muddy Waters would say, to keep something in your pocket, and say, I got that one for later,
Chris Vos is with us here from the record company. All right. Now, a lot of accolades. You got nominated for a Grammy, which is awesome, especially for a first album. But more so, I want to ask you about this Rolling Stone piece that came out, because they named you as one of the 10 artists you need to know in 2016. And I went back to read the piece, and they're right off the bat, they're talking about Black Keys and the White Stripes, and you guys are for fans of Zeppelin and Al Green and Morphine and all these things. I want to know what that was like for you to read or see once that finally came across your desk there.
To see, you mean what was it like to see the band's name in Rolling Stone?
Yeah,
is that what you're asking me?
And being compared to all those people and everything like that.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because I want to make sure that I answered that correctly. It was awesome, and that's an underwhelming answer, but it's the truth. Sometimes things are just there. It's as simple as you think it would be. When the Grammy nomination came in, I was shocked to silence, which, as you can probably tell from my long meandering answers, is not an easy thing to do with me. So, but it was just this whole thing, I'll put it to you this way. I was just saying to my mom over Chris, just to sum it up in a greater fashion, she's like, what has all this been like? And I said, I'd say it's a dream, because in a lot of ways I'm living my quote dream, but life is not a dream. Life is still life, and it still has its up and downs, and it still has its days where you're like, oh my God, and the stress can be really heavy. So all these things are things you're grateful for. You don't see them coming. And when that happened, when you get compared to artists that, that you admire, and I mean, those bands like you talk about, the White Stripes and Keys and et cetera. And those were the bands that went out, 18 years ago and got in vans and invented a new way to play music that was inspired by old stuff, and they paved the way for that to have validity, so that in the modern context, so a band like ourselves has a shot. I find that to be something I'll be grateful for to those kinds of bands and those pioneers is for till the day I die. So it's an honor to be, mentioned alongside any great artist as far as I'm concerned. And, but in the same time, you gotta stay the course. Again, it's that distraction thing. You can't let anything that happens make you think that you're any more than what you are, that your life experience is any more than what it is. Because if you do, you're going to take your eye off your art. You're going to take your heart out of it. You're going to start doing it for the wrong reasons. You're going to start being false and about things that don't really resonate, and are for vain purposes. And then your art dies. And so for me, it's just about being thankful, being grateful, being worthy of the opportunity by working your butt off every day to stay worthy of it. Know what I mean?
I hear you, man. Chris Vos is with us from the record company. All right, so you guys are kind of wrapping things up, getting into the mixing phase. What can you tell us about the new? Here's what I'm really wondering. Do you have a name for the new album?
I wish I could tell you that we're going to premiere that here today, but we have it. I'd say we've got the herd is thinning. We have a stable of names here, but you can't. You can have an idea of what the name of the child is going to be, but really until you got it in your hands and can you really name it? You got to look and go, yes, that is in fact, blank. And that we still got one more track to finish, and just stand back and take a good look at or listen to what we have. And that's where the name happens. It's kind of like when we named the band, we had already been recording, we already knew what we were going to sound like. We didn't name ourselves and then try and find our sound. We found our sound and then named ourselves.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I totally get you, man. All right. So here, I'm going to ask you a different way to break some news for me. Is there one track on the album right now that is exciting you like crazy?
Well, I wanted to make sure that I could be proud of every single song on this record, and that we could, and that was our goal. And I am very excited about all these songs. I think they're honest. I think they're coming from an honest place. And, I'm excited just to have the record out. I'm excited to have 2 albums out so we can go out, play shows, and pull material from 2 different records instead of, 1. So, I'm just basically excited about the whole thing.
All right,
I'm really liking what I'm hearing, and I, but as far as one track, that's like, I just can't pick. I'm the artist. I'm the worst person to ask that.
All right, so I can't get a name.
If I don't like the song, I shouldn't have put it on the record. I guess we shouldn't have put it on the record. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear. So I can't get a name of the album, or I can't even get a name of a track from you. It's tough.
Not that easy.
It's
not that easy.
All right. Well, when
I
you're,
don't want you to go away from this thinking I'm too cooperative or too nice. Come on. How rock and roll is that?
I'll take it. It's a good deal. I'll tell you what, though. When you guys are ready to drop it, I expect you to come back on and tell us a little bit more about it. Does that work?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm the kind of guy, if I had answers to those previous two questions, I would have gave specifics. But the honest truth is, I don't have an answer to either of those questions yet.
All right, no worries, Chris. We appreciate the time, and I can't wait till you guys come to town Saturday, February 10th. Tickets are on sale, whbpac.org, and we'll catch up with you when you guys are here at West Hampton Beach.
Well, thanks so much. It's going to be a good time.
I appreciate it, man.
Have a great couple weeks till then.